Hello everyone, Railgan here again with another game. Today I want to talk to you about my current ZvP, how I play most of my ZvP games. This game is with me around 6.1k MMR against the GM Protoss Art, 6500 MMR on the European ladder. And my ZvP at the moment is that I open with a 2-base opener. I go for a 2-hatch opener into lair every game, and I take a really late third base, much like I do in CVC and of course CVT. So opener is hatch first, gas pool, completely standard. Drone, 2 queens, then 2 to 4 lings. I like to send 2 links straight across the map. If he keeps the probe here, I can't really send the links across the map because the probe will just be really annoying. I end up killing the probe here because he missed micro, then I just sent the 4 links home. As soon as my first 2 queens are done, I start 2 more. I delayed my overlord a bit this game. Shame on me, mistakes happen. My first 2 queens I moved to the natural to block to defend against the adept, and my links go into the main to kill the shade in case he tries to shade through. With my first 100 gas I got link speed, didn't pull off gas. Second 100 gas goes into a lair. I didn't really scout much with my overlord or anything. I eventually got the adept though. He's opening with Stargate. I went for double spore crawler around 330 and then double extractor at my natural once I reached around 16 drones. 2 queens in both main and natural to deal with the oracle. I end up killing it here. Pew pew pew. Easy peasy. Keep creep spreading, guys. Don't be like Railgan. As soon as my lair is done, it kind of depends what I'm going for. If it's against a Twilight Council or Arcane opener, I like to go for roaches. If it's against the Stargate opener, I throw down the Hydra then instead. The roach one is just for safety against mass adept pressure. I'm always scouting a bit with my links here to know what's up. Very important to keep tabs on your opponent. But goal was saturate main and natural completely, then take third base, much like I do against Terran. So we get the tech up, we defend it, then we expand it. I like to go for links. I go for a Ling Bane Hydra build. This is kind of standard, +1 melee, Baning Nest, Hydra upgrade, some Hydras for defense, spreading creep. Over here I have a pretty easy time dealing with the Arcane drop. I mean, I missed microed it a bit. Keep in mind this is also one of the best Protoss players in Europe. So we're dealing with a very good opponent here. When my third base is done, I kept my small Hydra count and just expanded it and just droned it up completely. Tried to do a bit of counterattack with my links. Of course, notice this army is not at home. This army, I don't know if I can fight it. So I know he also has this Arcane drop that's kind of annoying me, and I figured it's better for me to deal with the Arcane drop first. That we failed to kill it, rather than saving my 4th base that I don't really care about too much. He eventually recalls, I think. I wasn't able to get too much damage done on him though, so just a nice recall by him. What you might have noticed is that I'm going for a very fast hive. As soon as I have my stuff up and my 3rd base saturated, my 4th base built, I started the infestation pit. As soon as the infestation pit is done, hive and aspire. And supply wise I'm a little bit down, right, because I have a lot of gas in the bank right now. I'm not really building that many units, and most of my army value comes from the banelings, which cost no supply, and Hydras are also very supply efficient. I mean, banelings cost supply, but they don't cost more supply than links, basically. So I'm just doing a little baneling run by here. I was hoping he might not be in position. I don't really get too much done with them though. Killed a couple zealots. Well, yeah. Trying to protect my spire here. Just a very defensive position. Constantly spreading creep, taking my 4th and 5th base at the same time. Doesn't really matter too much. My goal is just to get Bane Hydra out and somehow make it up to Broodlords. Making 8 Corruptors right now, very big count. If he were to attack me right now, I might be in a bit of trouble, but I'm keeping him honest, I'm keeping him in check, constantly looking for ways where he could possibly attack me. And this was all of a 2-base opener, right? Our opponent played a standard opener into 3-base, into 4-base, and we just opened with 2 bases and we're still okay economically, despite not doing any damage to him. Which is mostly because we played it very efficiently with our Hydras. The War Prisms right here are pretty annoying. He's kind of pushing out in the middle of the map right now. I have to deal with the War Prism at my main, natural and 3rd base. I made some Infestors, because why the hell not? I had a lot, and I had enough gas anyways, so I figured some Infestors might be good. Important thing happening right now, as soon as my Greatest Spire is done, I morph the 8 Corruptors into Broodlords. 8 Broodlords is kind of a count you're looking for. You don't really want to have much below 8, because your Broodlords also need to be scary, and if you just have like 4 or 5, the Archons, they get stormed, and then the Archons shoot twice and your Broodlords are dead, right? You need a nice Broodlord count. The double War Prism harass is kind of annoying though. Can't really do too much about it. I need to build a new Corruptors to eventually kill them. Over here my Broodlords are still zoning him. He eventually gets that mothership in and recalls his units home. I killed quite a couple of his units there though. Constantly looking for these harassments by him. Eventually I actually managed to kill the War Prisms, and if we look at the units lost tab at the top left, you can really see how efficient that was, right? Like all this game long, I just killed one of his units after the other. I only lost 2 Hydras, and I killed 4 Archons, 3 Templar, 2 Sentry, 2 Oracles. I traded very efficiently. Just nice defense into Broodlord. Sorry. Then I eventually of course have to push out, and here I'm going to make a mistake, but it will be fine, don't worry. Trying to go for a Baneling run by, kill a couple of workers. I don't quite get all of them, feels bad man. But it allows me to push in because his army moved a bit out of position. He has the Tempests, which are really scary. You don't want to lose all your links to the storms, so you kind of pull them back. The goal of the Broodlords is to tank the storms. Then I threw down some Fungals. The goal of the Broodlords is to kill the Archons and Templar, of course. Then I threw down some Infested Terrans because they do a lot of anti-air DPS. And I started reinforcing with Hydras because I felt like going Mass Corruptor against these Tempests is probably not gonna do it. What kind of ends up killing me here is that he's going to snipe my Overseers, and I'm not making any more of them. And then he's going to warp in DTs and I have no answer to them. So here we go. My Hydra count is now coming in because he made Void Rays to deal with my Corruptors and Broodlords. But I don't have anything to deal with the DTs that are warping in now, so the 2 DTs are sending me back home. 2 DTs into 4 DTs. If he made anything else, I most likely would have just ran over him. Of course it's sloppy by me to do it like that, and there's also some War Prism harassment going on. If we check the units lost, I still traded more efficiently, but that was definitely a good trade for him. Harassment going on, let's check. Then I make 10 additional Broodlords. He's kind of pushing over here, maybe he thinks I was expanding there. I'm going for for a counter with my links to try and do damage to him wherever I can. Dealing with his units here is not that difficult for me. Luckily got that War Prism. He has to recall to deal with the links because they were going to do a lot of damage to him. And this right here is where the final fight happens. I once again built a couple Infestors. Infestors are not the greatest unit, but like that one Fungal for example allowed me to really take out his units. And this right here, his Zealots, and this right here is how you engage into a Protoss in my opinion. You always want to have an Overseer with your Broodlords in case of Mothership for example, so you can sneak an Archon underneath your Broodlords. My Infestor micro is not perfect, but I'm going in and I try to kill all the Templars, and once the Templars start storming, The last Templar fell. That is when I engage with my other units and I just walk over him and he dies. So, quick recap. What did Railgan do this game? I opened with 2 base Hydra, basically. Hydra against Stargate, Roaches against anything else. If I go for Hydras, I go for Ling Bane. I mean, you can basically do it with every unit composition. I just like Hydras a lot. You could also go Roach Knights. You can go 2 base Spire. I don't care. I open safely with 2 bases, then take my 3rd base, and I make a fast transition to Hive. That is my preferred style of ZvP at the moment. You like it? You hate it? See ya.